Welcome to Dem Bahamians. This is a show produced by the Bahamian American Cultural Society. And today we are privileged to be here with this wonderful group of students from the Police Athletic League from the Armory Center, Uptown in Harlem. Welcome, everyone. And thank you so much for joining us today. Today we're going to talk about how to make a book. Isn't that exciting?
Yes.
Yes, okay. And I also want to welcome Dr. Valencia Carroll, and she is none other than the wife of our new Consul General to the Bahamas here in New York. Welcome and thank you for joining us. Wonderful. So today we're going to talk about how to make a book. And it's a book with a secret room. Ooh, isn't that exciting?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so we had an opportunity to work with this wonderful group of students, and they were able to do some wonderful creative writing, and they were able to express themselves and show their skills. And so today we're going to be talking about that and examining, all the wonderful things that they did. So now the first thing, let's see. I want to get right involved with the students and ask them some questions right off the top. So first of all, how did you find this whole process? What did you think about the writing workshop that you did? Who would like to raise their hands and tell me? Okay, young lady, tell us your name and then tell us.
My name is Chantal, and we come back.
No, just tell me, did you enjoy it? How did you feel about the workshop?
Like one of my teachers was talking, like in our classroom, and I didn't come to the rug because she said go to the rug, and I was working on my book.
You were working on your book?
Yes. So
Okay.
I had to do tomorrow, and we're gonna be on TV today.
But did you enjoy the writing process?
Loved it.
Did you find it exciting?
Very.
Okay, wonderful. Joshua, how about you? What was your experience like?
It was good.
It was good. What was so good about it? What did you like best about it?
About making a book.
Okay, good. Go ahead, speak up, use your mic.
And coloring and writing.
Excellent. Is there anyone else that would like to share something very quickly? Okay, let's see. All right. Let's take one more person and then Dr. Valencia can help me. Thank you so much. Okay, and remember to say your name.
My name is Jarrell.
And tell us, how did you find the writing workshop? Did you enjoy it?
You have to think of things like in your imagination.
Mm-hmm. Key word
like
right there,
scary thoughts
imagination.
And other things like scary thoughts or happy thoughts.
Very nice. Okay, very good. Well, the first thing we did, we started with, is we made our books first. We made the template for our books. And the way we did that was we had to do a lot of folding. And who remembers what we did? First, we had to do what? Okay, how about Abby on the end over there?
We had to do the hot dog fold.
Ah, the hot dog fold. And how do we do the hot dog fold?
We do it like in half.
So first, we fold our paper in half, right? And then what else do we do? Yes?
We do the hamburger fold.
Ah, and then we have to fold the paper again in half, correct? And then what else? And then one more time, we had to fold the paper again in
We
half.
have to cut it and then we put it together.
And then you slit just this top part off over here, fold it in half, and then there you have it is right. And so then we had our cover, and then as we start, we're going to go through the books and we're going to start telling the stories, right? All the wonderful stories on the pages. And then, of course, if we open it up, we have our secret room. Very nice, okay? So maybe this is something our viewing audience at home, you can maybe, do this workshop at home if you work with children or you have small children at home. What a great idea, right? For them to express themselves. Well, okay, so the way the workshop works is we gave the children different writing prompts, and each prompt you had a blank at the end, and then they had to fill it in, correct? And so everybody has their own original story, including a nice title for their book. Okay? So, now, one of the things I want to do is get right into it because I want the children to be able to share, okay, some of their writing with you so that you can see what wonderful work they did. So, and what is your name? Jonathan. And Jonathan is signaling me.
I'm not reading.
Oh, you don't want to read? Well, that's fine, Jonathan. You don't have to if you don't want to. Okay, we won't put you on the spot. Okay? But I'm going to call on some of the children who I know are prepared and ready and willing to read their work. Okay? So, now one of the things that I find helpful, and someone hit on a key word. What is your name again, young man? Yes.
Jarrell.
Jarrell. And Jarrell said a key word. He said I had to use my imagination. And I think that's such a fascinating word because when you think of your imagination, you think of all kinds of wonderful things, right? How many people use their imaginations all the time? Good. Now, what are some of the things you use your imagination for? How about, let me see you in the back. What is your name? Miguel?
Yeah.
Speak up, Miguel.
I use my imagination I use my imagination for like when I always play with my sisters sometimes.
Okay, good. So it's like you have to think about something. You really can't see it, but you have to imagine it. Or another word we use like in school is we visualize, right? How many people know that word? Yes, we use visualization, right? Where you have to try to think of it and create the picture in your mind, right?
Yeah.
Yes, so that you can almost see it, even though it's not physical. So we use those techniques to come up with our wonderful stories. Now, everybody gave a title to their book. This one that I have in my hand is My House by the Ocean. And so I'm going to start with this one, and then I'm going to call on someone else to read their story, right? So, My House by the Ocean. So, the first writing prompt was, I arrived at the house. In the yard, there was, and then, I wonder what was there. There was a beautiful garden. I knocked on the door, and I wonder what happened. Guess what? It made a sound. The door opened. The first thing I saw, what do you think I saw? The first thing I saw was,
The ocean.
Okay, the ocean. That could be a really good answer. Saw a fish. Okay.
Crab.
Then, wait a minute. Then we walked up a staircase. It looked like, what do you think my staircase is going to look like? Yes?
Water.
This
Regular staircase.
A regular staircase. Okay.
Ocean.
The ocean, yes.
A staircase with lots of flowers on it.
Staircase with lots of flowers on it. So you see how many different variations we can come up with? Now, before we went into my secret room, I walked down a hallway with, well, what do you think I might see in the hallway in this wonderful place? Pictures. Okay, pictures of
Sand.
sand. What was in the sand?
Crabs.
Crabs. Treasures. Good.
Like crabs.
Okay, wonderful. Yes.
Wait. Gold.
Gold. Ooh, maybe, yeah.
What?
Okay, so you kind of get the idea now, right? You kind of get the idea. Okay, so all these different writing prompts, and then everyone was able to tell their story. So now I'm going to ask, who would like to read their book first? Let's see. I'm going to call in somebody. Okay. And Abby. Abby?
My story is called The Candy
Speak into
House.
the mic, Abby.
My story is called The Candy House.
And hold up your cover so we can see it.
I arrived at the house in the yard. There was a candy bowl with everything made out of candy, and that made me hungry. I knocked on the door and it made the sound knock knock. The door opened and I saw a Sour Patch. The Sour Patch came to greet me and brought me inside. We went up the staircase, which looked like candy and sugar. Before I went into my secret room, I saw more and more candy.
Oh, wow.
And this is my secret room.
Beautiful. Very nice. Okay, let's give Abby a round of applause. That was beautiful. Thank you, Abby. You did a great job. Excellent. And I love your story. I like that you chose the Sour Patch. That was really interesting. And it made your story very intriguing. Very, very nice. Now, who can tell me what's one way we can enhance our writing and make it sound like more interesting and fun? Like I can say, okay, I arrived at the house. In the yard, there was a beautiful garden. What else could I say to make my story more interesting? Okay, yes?
You have to use descriptive words to make your story sound better.
Excellent. What is your name?
Mina.
Mila?
Mina.
Mina, that's exactly what I wanted you to say. She said that we have to use descriptive words, right? And descriptive words are, what's another word for descriptive words? Well, excellent is a descriptive word. Yes, we're talking about lots of adjectives, right?
Yes.
So when we use those adjectives, it makes our writing come alive, right? Because now we're not just talking about a particular thing, but we're describing it. We're really giving you a full sense so that you can see. Yes.
What about proper nouns?
Yes,
For a person's
we
name.
can use proper nouns for people's names. Absolutely. Yes.
You can use action words, which are called verbs.
And we can use action words, which are called verbs. Absolutely correct. So that's one way that we can really, enhance our writing and make it even more interesting, okay? So think about that. The next time you're writing, you want to really put a lot of colorful, descriptive words to really bring out and paint a picture for the reader so that the reader will be even more excited to go to the next page, right? Yes. Okay. Now, let's see. We can call on someone else. Who else would like to read or share their story? What is your name, young man? Alejandro. Would you like to share your story? Okay. So we're going to give Alejandro a chance to share his story. Tell us the name of your book.
My name of the book is called The White House.
Wonderful. Continue.
I arrived at the house. I arrived at the White House. I knocked on the door. The door opened. Someone came to greet me. We went up a staircase that looked like a invisible staircase. Before I went to the secret room, I jumped up and down.
Very good, Alejandro. Now, before we go on, okay, Alejandro, give him a hand. Very good. That was excellent, Alejandro.
He wants to show us the pictures.
Oh, yes. Show us your secret room, please.
Let's see.
Hold it out.
The other way, honey.
Hold it up. Wonderful. Great job. Now, before we move on, Alejandro, you said I knocked on the door and someone opened the door? Well, who was at the door? What could Alejandra, how could we help Alejandra? What can we add to that?
Barack Obama.
Raise your hand. Let's see. Yes, I like the way you raise your hand. Go ahead.
Like one of the presidents.
Well, or, okay, the president. That would have been really great, right? To say, and President Obama opened the door. What else could we have said? Yes. What else could we have said? You, young man.
Oh, one of the wrestlers.
At the White House?
No, wrestlers from WWE.
No, he said I went to the White House.
The White.
So remember, we're telling this story, right? So the story has to flow. Yes. Yes. Who else lives in the White House that might have answered the door?
George Washington.
That's right, our First Lady Michelle Obama. Yes, there's a chance you might see her if you go to the White House. Yes.
George Washington.
I'd be a little scared if I saw George Washington. But I like your imagination. Yes, he was our first president. So yes, because you're telling your story, you can write your story however. And maybe your story took place a long time ago. And yes, maybe it was George Washington, right? The spirit of George Washington. Very good. Yes.
Abraham Lincoln.
Yes, so any one of our great presidents, right? Wonderful. See how you're using your imagination, and then it does make the story more interesting and fun, right? So thank you, Alejandro, for sharing that wonderful story. Yes. Okay. Now, what are some other ways we can make our writing even more fun and interesting? Yes. Somebody who has not raised their hand, who would like to tell us? Okay.
By drawing pictures.
Pictures, the illustrations, yes. Okay, so we have our words, but then the pictures also complement the words and give life to our stories, right? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Very good. Now, I still want to go back to the question because only a few people shared, and I'm curious to know how some of you, did you find the workshop, was it easy for you to write like this, just using the prompts? Using the writing prompts like, I arrived at the house and all the different prompts, I knocked on the door. Did you find that helpful in your writing? Well, you have to use your words because the audience cannot interpret. Yes, so you have to use your words. Good. Very good. Okay. Now, who else would like to share their experience? And I want you to really tell, did you guys work together in peers? Did you work by yourself? How did you come up with the ideas? What were you going to write? What was your thought process like? Why did you decide to choose the topic that you did? So tell me, let's see. Tell me the topic of your book.
The Princess and the Fairy.
Oh, I like
I
that.
had nothing else to do because last time we wrote a book and I wrote the Fairy House and I didn't know what else to write, so I just wrote the Princess and the Fairy.
The Princess and the Fairy. So, okay. So she picked, and always remember when you're writing, pick something that you're interested in. Something that you like to write about, right? Because it makes it that much more fun for you. Right? Write about something that interests you, something that's fun, something that makes you, brings your emotions to life. Because it's going to do the same thing for the reader, okay? So, let's see. Okay, so would you like to read your story? Okay.
My name is...
Okay, 1 second. Thank you. She's going to pass you the microphone. Yes, say your name and then read your story.
My name is Chantal. The Princess and the Fairy. I arrived at the house. I saw a fairy.
Mm-hmm.
I knocked on the door. It was a shadow that looked like a princess. On the door opened by itself. Someone came to greet me. It was a big fairy. We went up a staircase which looked like a princess and a fairy. Top secret.
Let's see your secret room. Oh, wow, beautiful. Oh, I love those drawings. Very nice. Now tell us about some of the things in your secret room.
I made my pets,
Okay.
a smile, my hand,
Now, why'd you make a smile?
because I was happy that I did this.
Okay. What else can you tell us about your secret room?
And I made, flowers, like, on my bed, so I can have a happy dream.
Oh, wonderful. I see you have a heart. What does a heart mean?
It means, it's, like a statue.
Okay. What else do you have in your secret room?
I have a red lipstick on my hand.
Uh-huh. And what does that mean? Why did you draw the red lipstick on the hand?
I was bored. I wanted to draw more because I love to draw.
Okay.
And I wrote this brown, which I don't. But
Okay.
and I draw a picture that was water and a triangle of a shark.
Okay. Beautiful. Okay, give her a big hand. Very
And nail
nice.
polish.
Very, very
Thank you,
nice.
everybody.
Okay. Very good. Now, can I call on someone else to read? Who would like to read? Okay. Mina. Mina would like to read hers. Okay.
The magical unicorn.
Speak into the mic. Take your time.
I arrived at the house. In the yard was a golden magical unicorn. I knocked on the door and saw a unicorn walking on a rainbow.
Listen.
The door opened, the unicorn gave me a hug. Someone was there to greet me, and the unicorn said hello. I went up the staircase which looked like a rainbow. Before I went into my secret room, I said bye.
Let's see your secret room.
It's my secret room.
Very nice. And can you tell us a little bit about your secret room?
It has a TV, a butterfly on top, and it has a heart,
And it has a house.
and it has a shoe, and a flower, and an elephant, and a red lips.
Okay, wonderful. Give Mina a big hand. Very nice, Mina. Thank you. Very nice. What do you mean?
My name is Jada Bennett. My title is The Pool Party House. I arrived at the house. In the yard, I saw a pool. I knocked on the door. It made the sound boom. The door opened. I saw a pool in the middle of the floor. Someone came to greet me. It was a girl. We walked up the staircase. It looked like a candy pool. Before I went to my secret room, we walked down the hallways. On the wall, it had a picture, full of pictures. Here's my secret room.
Great. So tell us a little bit about what you have in your secret room and why you chose those things.
I have a water bed with a flower on it. I have a happy face with stars. And I have a heart and a picture. Two pictures, one with a butterfly and one just blank. And I have a lamp with a star on it. There, I finished.
Very nice. Excellent job. Great job.
Bye, everybody.
Very nice. Now, I liked some of the elements in your story. It was called the pool room.
The pool
party house.
Oh, the pool party house. And I like that you had the water bed. Do you have a real water bed?
No, I want one.
Oh, so that's a nice imaginary story. Who knows? Maybe one day you'll be able to get a nice water bed. That was very nice, and I like the way your story flowed. Yes, young man.
I want to go next. That's why I raised my hand.
Here you go, Romeo.
Absolutely. You can share your story. Say your name.
Hello, my name is Ramiel. My title is The Cool House. I arrived to the house. I saw a big gold TV. It was 3 yards long. I knocked on the door. It sounded like a ghost. It was a good ghost. The door opened. The ghost's friend came out. It was his pet wolf. It liked me. Someone came to greet me. It was my friend Brandon. We went up the staircase, which looked like a moving clouds. Before I went into my secret room, we ate lunch.
Okay, now show us your secret room. And tell us a little bit about what you put in your secret room.
I put this picture of a wolf, like a frame. And this is like a setting, like on a picnic or something, but I didn't have. That's what I didn't want to put nothing there. And this is the beach.
Okay.
And this is a metal room.
Okay. Very, very nice. Now,
The end.
the egg. Okay, give me out a big hand. Okay, before we move on, so far we learned that we can use descriptive words to make our writing interesting. We can add illustrations to make our writing interesting. Now, one of the other things when you're writing a story, there are different types of stories, right? Not all stories are the same. So you have to decide what type of story you want to write, like what genre your story is going to be. Do you know that word? Everybody knows that word, right? Genre. It means, right, like somebody read about, what was the title of your story?
The Princess and the Fairy.
The Princess and the Fairy. So what genre would her book go under? That would be a what type of book?
That would be a fantasy.
A fantasy book or a fairy tale, right? Yes. And Rumiel, his book, what was the title of your book?
The Cool House.
The Cool House. And some of the elements in your story told us that what type of story was your story?
It's about my favorite things that I like.
True, but you said some of the stuff, yours had a little bit of like mystery to it, right?
It had a little bit of realistic because I had my real friend Brandon right here.
Oh, okay. Very good. So, and he used the word realistic. So even though it wasn't a real story, but it had real elements, so that would be like realistic fiction. That's another genre, right? And let's see, who else? What was your title, young lady? What was your title?
Mine?
Yes.
Oh, mine was the pool party house.
The Pool Party House. And so what genre would you put your story in? Like what type of story was it? Was it a real story?
Fake.
Well, not fake, but what's the word we would use?
Non-fiction.
Yes,
Fiction.
Abby. Fiction, right? If the story's not real, fiction. And if the story has real elements, like Ramiel said, we can say, no, if it has real elements, it could be a realistic fiction, right? If it's a story about all facts, then what do we call that? She said it before, yes.
Yellow.
No, if it's like a story that has like all facts, then what do we call that?
A non-fiction.
Non-fiction, yes, if it's real, okay? And then we have like folk tales. And what type of story? Folk tales. What kind of elements does a folk tale have? Yes?
Like tall tales?
Well, it has tales, but what kind of tales? Like, what are some of the elements? Who are the characters in a folk tale?
Princesses and...
In a folk tale. Think about a folk tale. Well, a folk tale we know, right? It has like what? At the ending has a...
The end.
or happy ending?
Well, it teaches you like a lesson, right? A moral thing at the end of the lesson, right? The story teaches you a lesson. And then sometimes you have like animals are the characters, the main characters in the story, right? Yes, like wolves or bears or something like that. Yes, or like pigs or something, right? Like, who can think of a story where there are animals in the story, a classic story? Who can name one? Yes? Take your hands down and speak up. Think of a story that you know of, a classic story where there are animals. Give them a chance. Any story. Okay, let's help them. Yes, who can tell me?
The Lion and the Mouse.
Okay, The Lion and the Mouse. Yes, now he's ready.
The Three Pigs and the Wolf.
Okay, yes, Three Little Pigs. Yes.
Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
Goldilocks and the Three Bears. So there are all kinds of classics where animals, right, play the main parts in the stories. Yes.
Little Red Riding Hood.
Little Red Riding Hood. Yes.
Annie.
So those are some of the classic tales, right? Yes. Annie?
Annie.
Well, Annie has a dog, but Annie's a person, right? Yes. Okay. Very good. So those are some of the things we can think of. So now, I'm going to ask you a question to see what did you learn through this whole process. Like, name one thing that you learned that you didn't know maybe before that you got out of the writing workshop. Okay, and then you can share just one thing that you learned, okay? So who would like to tell me one thing that they learned doing the writing workshop, creating their book? Yes, me. Go ahead, Abby.
I learned that it's really nice to make a book.
Okay. You can repeat it.
And I also learned that you could use your imagination for like a lot of things.
Okay, you learned how to use your imagination. Very good. Who else would like to share what they learned through this whole process? Okay, pass the microphone down gently. Gently. Good. Pass it along. You can share and then pass it to him. What did you learn throughout this whole process?
I learned that. I learned that you don't need to copy anybody else's work. You can just think of one. Like, you can't copy like what they say. I learned at the house.
Right, you came up with your own ideas. Excellent. Okay, pass it to him. And tell us, what did you learn?
I learned how to make a book.
And what was the best part of making the book?
Writing.
You enjoyed the writing part. Okay, good. Let's see, who else? Riel would like to share.
I learned to try your best
Okay.
on the books. I learned that you can actually like make your own books and do your imaginations with stuff.
Very nice. Who else would like to share? Would you like to share what you learned? Yes. No? Okay. How about you? Would you like to share? Okay. Anybody else would like to say what they learned in the whole process? Was it easy for you to come up with different things to write about?
Mm-hmm.
Was it easy for you, or did you have to think really hard? It was easy. Some people found it very easy, yes?
It was easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Good. Yes, Abby?
It was easy because I could use my imaginations. And some people have like a lot of things on their mind, so they could just write it in a book.
Okay, good. Would you recommend this workshop to your friends? Is this something you would encourage other children to do?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Does anyone else have a story?
Is there anyone else that didn't get a chance to read their book that would love to? Oh, okay, yes. Hold on one second. We're going to pass the mic to you. You can read yours. You read yours already? Okay, go ahead.
My name is Joshua Bartigas, and the title of my house is the FBI house.
He read it.
Give him a chance.
I arrived at the FBI house. I saw FBI. I pressed the doorbell and I heard a bullet. The door opened. Someone came to greet me. It was an FBI. I saw a robber that was arrested. I went up some stairs. They looked like guns.
Okay, tell us about your secret room. Okay, speak into the microphone.
I put a wolf and some ship stuff, and a guitar and a beach, guitar and glasses.
Okay, very nice. Thank you, Joshua, for sharing. That was really cool. Now, Joshua, is that something you're interested in doing, becoming an FBI agent? Really? All right. Okay. Okay, so we have one other person over there that would like to share.
What? You want to share? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, gently pass the microphone over. Pass it one person to the next gently. Good. You can stand if you want to. Okay.
My name is Jarrell. My book title is called The Scary House. I arrived at the house and I saw a ghost in front of me. It had really short hair and then he rang his friend Zoe. He was a zombie. He didn't speak like people, but he was green with short hair and 3 eyes. The end.
Very good. Give him a hand. Thank you, Jarrell, for sharing. Now, one other thing that I like that really helps to make your writing creative and interesting is how many people like rhyming words? Now, that's a really fun way you can use to write your story, is using like a more poetic way where your words rhyme. How many people have read books where the words rhyme at the end of the sentence? Yes. And it kind of makes your story flow in a nice way, right? Exactly, like Dr. Seuss. He uses lots of rhyming words, and that's why we love his books so much, okay? So what I'm going to ask you to do is maybe you can read a line in your book, and then maybe you can think of a word that rhymes with that word. So kind of like maybe change your ending a little bit. Do you think maybe you can do that? Yes? Yeah, you can think of a word that has the same ending sound that maybe you can put in place of the word that you used before. Yes? Okay.
I think I don't have no rhymes.
Well, you can think of something because everybody knows 2 words that rhyme, right? Mm-hmm. Yes.
I know rhymes.
For example, okay, let me start you off. I'm going to say, listen up carefully. I arrived at the house. In the yard, there was a beautiful garden. And then I say, I knocked on the door. It made a sound, boom, on the floor. See that?
Sound
So
floor.
I made the word door rhyme with the word
Floor.
right?
What?
Or I said, knocked on the door and I heard a loud sound on the floor, right? How about that? So, the door opened and the first thing I saw was a big scary cat sitting on a huge blue mat. It has to rhyme. Remember, it has to have the same ending sound.
No, hat.
So, okay. So we can say he was sitting on a big blue mat, or he was sitting next to a
Big blue hat.
hat or bat.
Or rats. Or bat.
Or he was chewing a big fat
Rat.
Yes. Okay. What are you getting it now?
I thought it
See? So you can use the rhyming words to make your story more fun and way more interesting. So who can maybe read a line in their story and then add a rhyming word at the end? Who would like to try? Who would like to try? You would like to try, Joshua? Okay, pass the mic to Joshua and he's going to try.
That's a mic. What?
Okay. You guys are doing a really great job, too. I'm very proud of you. You're doing such a wonderful job.
I arrived at the FBI.
Let's listen to Joshua.
I arrived at the FBI house. I saw an FBI. I pressed the doorbell and I heard a bullet.
I say that again. I pressed the doorbell.
And I heard a bullet.
And I heard a bullet. Okay.
The door opened. Someone came to greet me. It was a FBI.
But remember, we said we're going to try to put a rhyming word in. So you said, I opened the door and I heard a bullet. And then what can we add there? Can we add a sentence that has a rhyming? Maybe say, what rhymes with bullet?
Stole it.
Stole it. But we want a real word.
Bullet. Bullet.
What else rhymes with bullet? What else? Can you think of something?
Couldn't.
Okay, but give Joshua a chance to think, to see if maybe he can come up with something. And what was the next sentence after that? After you said you heard a bullet, then
The
you...
door opened. I couldn't open.
So, okay, so you said, I knocked on the door and I heard a bullet.
I opened the door.
How about I stepped up to the door and then I pulled it? See? It doesn't rhyme exactly, but it's close enough.
I
Right?
stepped up to the door and I closed it.
Good. Let's see.
Someone came to greet me. It was an FBI. I saw a robber.
Okay, stop there. Someone came to, you said someone came to? Someone came to greet me. It was an FBI. And then your next sentence was what?
I saw a robber that was arrested.
But we could squeeze something. You said, someone came to greet me and it was an FBI. I couldn't believe I met a real spy. Yes. See, you have to really think. And if you think, given some time, I know I'm putting you guys on the spot, but next time you write, I want you to really try that. And I'm sure you can come up with some really, really interesting ways to really jazz up your stories, okay? Who's going to try that the next time? Yes? Abby, do you have one you'd like to try? Okay, Abby would like to try one. So can we pass the mic over to her? Gently pass the mic over. Gently. And let's see what Abby comes up with.
I knocked on the door and it made the sound knock. Then I heard a block.
Okay, very nice. Knock and block. Very good. Okay, Mina would like to try.
The door opened, the unicorn gave me a hug.
Say that again.
The door opened, the unicorn gave me a hug.
Mm-hmm. And try to think of something else that can rhyme with hug. Yes, who can think of a word or a sentence that ends with a word that rhymes with hug? Okay, in the back. Miguel.
Bug.
So the door opened and the unicorn gave her a hug, and then what would you say next?
There's a bug on the floor.
Well, it has to rhyme at the end, right? So the door opened, wait a minute, the door opened and the unicorn gave me a hug.
Bug.
And while I was doing it, I knocked over the
mug.
The mug. Exactly. Okay, yes. Okay. Pass the phone over and she's going to try. Okay, girls, don't play with the microphone. Go right ahead. Okay, she's going to try some of her lines.
I knocked on the door. It was a shadow.
Just read it the way you have it and then we'll work with you and help
That
you.
looked like a princess.
Read exactly what you have.
I knocked on the door. It was a shadow that looked like a princess.
Good. What rhymes with princess?
Princess.
Can we think of something that rhymes with princess?
Princess.
Okay, read another sentence. Let's see if we come up with something else. Go ahead.
We went up a staircase which looked like a princess and a staircase.
Okay, she said we went up a staircase which looked like a princess and a fairy. Yes.
I think I got one for when she said she knocked on the door.
Okay.
Can you read it again, Chantal?
Okay.
Go back to the beginning.
I knocked on the door. It was a shadow that looked like a princess.
That had kisses. That had kisses. I said kisses.
Okay, so she said she knocked on the door that had a
shadow.
Okay, and then you went up the staircase that you said something about the staircase, the fairy and the princess. The fairy and the princess. And on the wall there were lots of kisses.
Cherry.
No, it has to rhyme, remember? But you get the idea, right?
Yes, I get the idea.
Okay, give him the mic. He would like to share something.
Bye. Here.
I arrived to the house. I saw a big gold TV. It was 3 yards long.
Gold fold. Gold and fold.
Golden folds. Read it again for me.
I arrived to the house. I saw a big gold TV. It was 3 yards long.
Gold fold. Gold like gold.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we're going to keep working on it, okay? Good job. Give yourselves a hand. You guys did a really nice job with that. Very, very nice. Okay, so let's start recapping. We learned a lot of stuff today, right?
Yes.
So let's share one thing that you learned today. What did you learn? We talked about a lot of different ways we can make our writing interesting. So who can tell me something that they learned? Yes. In the back, he wants to tell me.
You can put rhyming words at the end.
Very good. We learned about the rhyming words. Okay. Abby's going to say something.
You can express your feelings when you're writing a book.
You can express your feelings. It's a great way to express yourself. Yes. Go ahead.
How to use descriptive words.
Okay, you like to use descriptive words. Very good. Just say what you learned today. Everybody learned something.
I learned that you can use verbs.
Okay, you can use verbs. Yes.
You can use adjectives.
You can use adjectives. Yes. What else? Okay, pass the microphone down. Right here. Tell us what you learned today, Joshua. Just share one thing that you learned about good writing and making your writing interesting.
I learned, and the key word is to use your imagination.
Use your imagination when you're creating a story. Very good. Pass the microphone back to the next row.
I got nothing.
Tell us just one thing that you learned in this whole writing process and workshop.
I got nothing.
Okay. That's okay. You can pass it on to the next person.
I just forgot. Let me think. Come back to me. I forgot.
Okay. We'll come back.
You too.
Just tell us one thing that you learned.
I don't know what it I learned that you could use your imagination.
Yes.
If you're writing a book or something.
Very good. Okay, very good. So everybody learned something really good today. So now I'm going to ask you, you can ask me questions, but it has to be questions about writing, okay, about making a book and writing and stories. So does anyone have a question that they would like to ask?
Right here.
But it has to be about writing and making a book, okay? Yes, so what is your question?
I don't have a question, but I just remembered what
Oh, okay, sure, you can share.
By sharing the stories to one another, to our friendland.
Okay, very good. Yes, Abby has a question. Just pass it down. Yes.
How do you come up with how when the story, how did you come up with that they knocked on the door and all of that?
Well, when you're writing, those are called writing prompts, where they help you by giving you an idea, helping you get started, right? So the teacher or the person in the workshop, just like your teacher in the classroom, how many people do journal writing in school every day? And sometimes your teacher will give you a prompt, right? And she will say, this weekend and then you fill in the rest, right? Based on what you did this weekend, and everybody has a different story, correct? No two people are going to have the same experience. So it helps you to develop your writing skills until you're able to do it on your own. Because a lot of times when the teacher asks you to do something, people get stuck. They don't know how to get started. So these are called writing prompts that help you to jumpstart you so that you can just, start the imagination, visualization, thinking process. And it just helps you to get in there and start your writing right away. Yes.
My teacher at school, she says don't use a word this every time. Why can't you do that?
Well, because if you use, very good question, and she's right. If you keep using the same word over and over, then the writing becomes kind of boring, right? So you want to try to start each sentence in a different way. Right? So you don't want to have the same beginning start each sentence the same way, because then it's going to be boring and monotonous, right? So you want to try to be a little more creative. So you think of, okay, I wrote this sentence this way. Can I think of a different way to start this sentence, right? Yes. So you will say, first I did so-and-so, next I did blah, 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 then I did so-and-so, finally, right? Yes, instead of saying, I did, right? So it just makes it even more interesting, and it shows how smart and creative you are. Yes. Next question.
My teacher said don't use the sentence, each sentence was because, and saw, and I forgot the other two.
Yes, you don't want to keep using and, this, and that, and
or
for the
because.
Yes.
The first sentence.
Yes, we never start the sentence because. You don't want to start with a conjunction, right? That joins two sentences together. Correct. Very good. Okay, let's hear what he has to say. What's your question?
Imagination is not a question. Imagination helps you think about and write about things.
It is. It's really good. And, one of the things you can do to kind of jumpstart your imagination, you can close your eyes and really try to see what it is you're going to write about. Picture it in your mind, right? Like when you close your eyes, it helps you to not be distracted by what you see right now, and then you can kind of think about what you want to write. Okay? So it does help when you stop and think about it. You know, one of the things I used to do with my class is I used to put on the classical music, the instrumental, and I would say, close your eyes. And then everybody would close their eyes, and then they would start thinking, and I would give them the writing prompts. And then when they opened their eyes, they were all ready, and it was all fresh in their minds. Very good. Who has a question? Oh, great. He has a question. Jonathan, go ahead.
My teacher always says to leave spaces for sentences.
Well, yes. You know, you definitely want to make sure that your writing is neat and legible, because then whoever's reading it, it helps, right? And it will be a lot easier for them to follow what you have written. Because if we put everything together, then we won't understand, right? If all the words are jumbled together. Good. Any more questions or comments? Okay, someone in the back has another question. You guys are really good.
Why are there's some books for for young people and older people?
Say that again. Repeat your question.
Why are there books for younger people and older people?
Well, because there are books for younger people and older, because we are on different levels. When you're younger, the books have to be written a certain way so that you can understand them, right? Books for children are usually very colorful. They use bigger words, bigger print, so that, it engages the reader. When you see the pictures and they're colorful, don't you get excited about it? Yes, as opposed to just a book with just a bunch of words and it's really small. That's for older people, right? But when you're younger, you want to make it more exciting and fun. And so, they're written differently to address the different needs. When you're younger, you have different needs. When you're older, you understand more, and you don't need the pictures, because by then your imagination is well developed and you can visualize on your own. Okay? Good. Well, we're winding down our workshop today. I just want to say we really, really had a wonderful, wonderful time. Give yourselves a big hand. You guys did such a really nice job. And you were so engaged and disciplined, and I want to thank you guys for just sharing so much. And we have one more comment over there. Go right ahead.
Why do some teachers say that you shouldn't really use sometimes a lot?
Well, for the same reason. You don't want to be redundant in your writing, right? You want to always, in order to make your writing more interesting, you're not going to just use sometimes, because again, it just seems like you don't know any other words, right? So you always want to keep all those things in mind, okay? So I want to really thank you guys, because you did such an excellent job. Even some people in the beginning didn't want to participate, but I saw you got comfortable and you were able to share so much with us, with our audience today. And thank you. I think you guys, you are future writers. I think you have a really, really, really good opportunity to develop your writing and become really good journalists, professionals, teachers, authors, all of those wonderful things. So thank you guys so much. Give a big round of applause yourself. Give your hands another round of applause. I want to thank Dr. Valencia Carroll for joining us today. It was such a pleasure having you. Thank you for coming out.
Watch Inner Sight every Wednesday night, 11 o'clock, Manhattan Neighborhood Network on the Manhattan